Welcome guys, it's patch day, and wow, what a patch it is. In fact, I would say today feels like a proper full release, something we haven't experienced much of in 2021. I mean, we've had sections of releases with the Champions updates, but today we're getting, while Dragon Bash is still going on, mind you, the Living World Episode 3 Bitterfrost Frontier stuff, and there have been some updates centered around that Living World release. There's the introduction of the Armory and the Marionette all at once. They've done a little bit of an update to Timey and Goric dialogue. The Armory itself has introduced all that new lore, and yeah, it feels like there's really a lot going on. I've just spent a long time in game now getting used to some of the new systems, and I want to talk you guys through them. So let's run into the patch notes and see what we've got. First of all, 2 points of late notes here. I'm actually getting to this video kind of early, so I would assume more will be coming. Keep an eye out on the videos as the week goes along to see what else arrives here. But they say the second gen legendary precursors are no longer once per account, as we discussed in recent discussions about the legendary armory. And they say this as well, there's kind of a balance change. It's not really. It's actually a graphics and cosmetic change. Mesmer Phantasms no longer display their summoner's cosmetic back items. This change was made to reduce graphic lag caused by a specific interaction between phantasm transparency and certain back items, which could cause severe frame rate drops for some computer hardware configurations. Clones are unaffected by the change and still display their back items, because you remember a clone doesn't have the kind of ghostly effect on it. A clone is meant to look as much like you as possible to maybe deceive you, specifically with the detargeting mechanics that you find on some Mesmer skills and Mirage interactions. So yeah, this is actually something I'm quite excited about, particularly coming in at the same time as the Armory, where now we'll be seeing a lot more of these big explosive shiny back pieces around. The other big thing I've been wondering about is legendary chest pieces, actually, when they hit a phantasm, and they probably do that big visual burst too, but I guess that's not really what was dragging some systems down. I think it will just clean up the game and make it look a little bit nicer. They go in now with a block about the Marionette. Now I'm going to do a proper review of how they've updated the mechanics and how it works and how it feels in an upcoming video this week, but there are some notes about its implementation you guys are probably going to be interested in. They say, defeated long ago by Tyrion's defenders, the colossal Marionette was one of the demented Scarlet Briar's most infamous creations. Now it lurks within the scrying pool, awaiting adventurers bold enough to test their might against the clockwork memory. The Marionette battle is available in the scrying pool at the Eye of the North, so gather your allies and your courage to face the updated encounter. Without a large and coordinated team, you'll be hopelessly outmatched, so it can be entered by an organized squad of up to 50 people. It is 50-man content they've made here. The Marionette's original achievement, now this is really nice, the Origins of Madness, has been restored. It's no longer in historical, and you can earn those exact achievements. People that got caught behind by missing some of these Living World updates, Season 1 updates, well, look, they've actually kind of given a bit of parity here. I think that's really important and useful for restoring some of the integrity to the AP system. For the opening week, it's available in the bonus events, and after the introduction, it will then just be permanently available in side stories. They say that there's a new category for the Marionette's return as well, the Revenge of the Marionette. I haven't looked at what these achievements are just yet. That'll be a part of my review. And again, in the opening week, it's bonus, but then it'll be moving on. And they've done the whole thing with a special event. When you log in, you'll see on the top right, next to Dragon Bash, and next to the PvP thing I think that's going on right now, and the replay that's going on, there's one of these big community initiative goals that I never really get that invested in, but as long as you do the Marionette during this week while the patch is hot, you'll get a lot of bonus rewards, and the community can work towards those. As we've seen, they do very, very regularly. I'm really excited to get in there and play it, have loads of footage for you guys in some of the upcoming podcast dailies, and hey, in the background I'll put some of the Twisted Marionette music for you guys, some of the best music on the whole soundtrack, let's be real. Right, then they talk about the Armory. A lot of this we've kind of already touched on. We've done so much discussion about the Armory, and so much information has been clarified on the forums and so on. They say the Legendary Armory is a new and improved way to manage your legendary gear and upgrades. Once a legendary item is added to your Armory, it will be available to every level 80 character on your account. And, well, you guys can pause the video now and read all of this if you like. If you've been following my coverage, you already know all of this information. What can I say? Well, so far, it does exactly what it says on the tin. I haven't had any bugs. I haven't lost any infusions. Infusions are now the one weird thing where it feels like, okay, I can set up my entire build everywhere exactly as I want it, except the whole infusion side of the game. And it's making me realize that they might be gearing and angling for a space to add legendary infusions. They would now, I think, slot into the new system very well. and might be the kind of thing that they can continue to add as like meaningful progression and gear and stuff for people to go for after this stuff's in the game. But yeah, it's been really fun. I mostly only have the light armor side of the game covered, but it has been very, very cool going on to all my different characters, checking how their templates look, and now, you know, really min-maxing or net decking and just looking at other builds that are online and playing around with them. The cherry on top really has been the transmutation charge thing. You know, I'm not much of a Fashion Wars player, and I have a crazy abundance of transmutation charges anyway, but it feels kind of cool to be completely free, just swapping any kind of visuals and appearance that I like around until I find something that looks as appropriate to the build is mechanically as possible. You know, when I'm setting up like a hill scourge, making it look as scourgy as possible for free is a pretty fun feeling. So yeah, I think that this will go down as a patch people really enjoy, and what I'd like to see now going forwards is more stuff for people just at the Ascended tier or even lower to be able to experience some of this freedom, because I do think it is a very, very cool place to be in. It shouldn't just be there for the elite players and no one else. They have a section here for Living World changes, which to me, I think actually suggests their intention to do like the Breach Maker and more scrying pools type stuff into the future. They say this, that access to the Eye of the North no longer requires Path of Fire. It's now unlocked for any character shortly after reaching level 80. Yeah, you see how they say shortly after reaching level 80? What does that mean, shortly, exactly? So what does this mean? Well, a lot of the features you access from the Eye of the North are still locked. You can't do DRMs, you can't do all the Icebrood Saga strikes and all that lot. But the Marionette is available. And if we think about some of those other Season 1 batches of content that they might be looking to re-implement through the scrying pool, and not even just Season 1 stuff, but any kind of new initiatives they might have as well that are hooked into the scrying pool, they want everyone to have access to this. Now, it is interesting because it makes me think a little bit about their business model when it comes to End of Dragons. What they did with Path of Fire was all you had to do was buy POF and you got Heart of Thorns for free. Like, they gave you massive value. It was a lower price expansion than Heart of Thorns, and you got both in one. I was assuming that maybe End of Dragons would be the same. It would be like a triple expansion for just 30 quid or something. But maybe they're actually going to go back to this idea where End of Dragons is just End of Dragons and it won't give you POF at once and it won't give you the Icebrood Saga at once, in which case a change like this for the Eye of the North feels more necessary. I really don't know what they'll do there. I don't think that this update is actually saying one way or the other, but it's something to think about. And the only other thing I would say is it's actually kind of cool then, and what they're really telegraphing is the Eye of the North is going to be a big fixture of Guild Wars 2 going forwards. You know, I've been wondering, in the Living World season after End of Dragons comes out, or whatever they're doing at that point, are we going to have another new hub? You know, I like hubs. I liked what they did with the Sun's Refuge, and even if it was round one patch, we all knew the power that it would have if it was over many patches. They did that with the Eye of the North as well, and you know, I got a lot of nostalgia and enjoyment, but I've also sort of had my fill of that hub now. Would we have a new hub in Cantha? Well, making a change like this kind of makes it feel like, well, no, they'll probably just keep using the scrying pool, and the Eye of the North will be a big hub going forwards, which is fine. You know, I'm neither positive nor negative about that. It's just a bit of an observation. Some other changes to Living World. I alluded to one of these already. They fixed a bug in which the Ice Beast at the end of Living World episode Cracking the Ice could get stuck, stalling the encounter. Don't know what that was, but it has been cool to see how this big Living World replay not only has got people looking back at the earlier story and remembering a bunch of stuff that they've forgotten, and, you know, appreciating a lot of that stuff, which I think that until this big replay was underappreciated by a lot of the player base, but it's actually been an opportunity for the devs to update this stuff. Like, they actually added a little bit of extra lore about where we hear Mordramoth's name from. The devs knew that that was a big wriggle during Season 2, and they actually addressed it. And I've been infinitely curious whether they'll continue doing stuff like that as we go through Season 3 and later Season 4. I think the next big opportunity that they could probably do something is with the last episode of Season 3, when we have all the Shining Blade stuff. Maybe a little bit of something to smooth this idea of Char joining the Shining Blade and all these other races that might not care about it. But in any case, you know, just bugs and stalling issues as well are great to see these updates, definitely. And then also a really important fix, this is from the Icebrood Saga, fixed a bug that caused the Icy Dragon Slayer and Fiery Dragon Slayer weapons to have excessive stat values. I think I talked about this in one of my videos. It was kind of a big thread over on Reddit, and a weird moment for Guild Wars 2, really, as aggressive as this franchise is about not giving power creep. and how important that is to the heart of this franchise. These were weapons that really did power creep. It was like a tier above Ascended. What had happened is the devs that implemented these weapon sets accidentally used the attributes you'd expect on trinkets, I think rings specifically, rather than weapons, which is more attributes than you should have had. And somebody kind of unwittingly stumbled across this, and it was posted on Reddit and rectified. You know what I think with big moments like this as well? That will have triggered in secret a game-wide hunt from all the little communities around the game to look at every single weapon that's out there, just in case the devs made this mistake anywhere else in the game. And I'll tell you what, if they found it out, they won't be making Reddit threads about it. They'll be keeping it quiet and hoping that nobody finds them. I'm sure the rest of the game is fine. This is the first time, as far as I know, we've ever been in a situation like this where there has been accidentally stronger than Ascended stats. Probably kind of fun to use, actually, knowing a nerf was coming in the meantime, but not something I actually did for myself. Right, moving into general, this is a fantastic change. This actually might be one of my favorite parts of the patch. Added a new button to the skill bar that allows players to view and swap build and equipment templates without using keybinds or opening the hero panel. This new menu can be accessed by hitting right click on the swap, and they go on to explain a bunch of stuff about it. You guys can pause and read if you like, or I'll just demo it in the background footage for you guys here. This is so cool. We all know how annoying the keybinds are. You know, there's so many binds you've probably already got in the game. Most people aren't using the keybind, especially the fact that you need a separate one for the build and the gear. And we all know how annoying opening the hero panel is, especially when you've got a ton of items and a lot going on. There's usually that little bit of choppiness and stutter and lag as you open it up, no matter how efficiently you've optimized your client. Well, this button is so cool. Look at how clean this UI is here. On mouse over, you can really get a sense of exactly what build it is. On mouse over of the equipment, it will have the name there, so if you've named it after the stat type, you can very, very quickly understand what's going on. This is brilliant, and I think that the Legendary Armory plus a feature like this really are big steps to actually allowing the studio to put more engaging content in the game in the future, because Buildcraft is being embraced as a bigger part of the experience, and it's a more like streamlined, integrated part of the game too. You know, if there was a little bit of tutorialization about the existence of this feature and this menu in earlier game experiences, I think the devs can really start leaning into, hey, you need Condi Cleanse for this encounter, or hey, you need your own break bar damage for this encounter, or you need Condi damage, or you need power damage, and it actually kind of works because players can cleanly and comfortably start swapping in and out of different stat sets, which is a place I've always wanted to see Guild Wars go. This is really fun, guys. If you haven't gone in game yet and tried it out, right-click your weapon swap bar and see how you feel. You're going to see me doing a lot of this in the background in the upcoming days. Skipping through here, they do explain that legendary items now have lore associated with them, and I do want to do a video talking about that with you guys. However, the devs made it kind of hard to get at the lore, which I actually think was good. They did something pretty smart here. Everyone who's already crafted legendaries, when we log in, we just get a generic message saying, hey, your stuff's been added to the wardrobe. We don't get the lore itself. The only people who see the lore are those who are making new legendaries. So the internet is kind of waiting with bated breath right now, watching to see the first person who crafts, say, Shara or the Binding of Ipos or whatever thing you're actually interested in. Now, over in the Spud Discord, we've been accruing a bunch of the different pieces of information. I've read that Shara talks about the Artesian waters. I've read the Conflux description at the point of making this video. It's really cool. You guys can go over there and continue to collaborate if you like. My gut tells me that very, very quickly all of this stuff will be found, and if it's not, then data mining will probably just reveal it all. I don't know what the prominent data miners out there are doing, whether they'll keep the information hidden away for a bit. But we're in kind of a sweet spot right now where there is a bit of mystery. And I'm especially excited about the way that the devs did this, because it gives us a taste of what the game will probably feel like once End of Dragons is out and we're into the Gen 3 set. And people really are excitedly making these because there'll be that extra bit of flavor. I know not every... There's not necessarily a huge cross-section between the lore lovers and the legendary crafters, but where there is, I think we're going to be having a lot of fun. Towards the bottom of the patch here, they say the activating template message no longer displays on a character level up. That's really funny, because I've spent all day today gathering footage for this big ultimate Guild Wars 2 movie thing that I'm doing, and that's involved leveling new characters to get some of the early story, and I only just noticed that template message pops up, and then a couple of hours later, it's just been removed from the game. Nice. And they say here that there are a couple of new Mystic Forge recipes. 3 symbols and a Philosopher's Stone will forge a random one, and I'm guessing this is with the potential for it to be of a higher rarity, just like like all those other recipes. Or 3 charms and a Philosopher's Stone will do a random charm. As far as I remember, the economies for charms and symbols are actually kind of all wacky and out of balance, so this will probably equalize those, and maybe a minor opportunity for money making for some people right now. Bit of an update to the Jormag v Primordus instance Dragonstorm, and they updated the rarities of the left eye and the right eye infusions to exotic. I guess they weren't before. So there you have it, guys, a basic run through of the patch. It's a big one, honestly. You should log in and see how your characters feel and have a play around with some of the new systems. Definitely check out the Marionette and keep an eye on my channel. In amongst all the End of Dragon speculation and discussion that we'll be doing, I will be watching out for that too. I'm kind of cramped with the big lore recap project, but I will absolutely be in game trying that out very soon. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think, and if I've missed any cool details about the patch, let me know down in the comments. Maybe after the video comes out, more late notes arrive. So go down, join in the discussion, and I'll see you in game, guys. We'll probably do some big spud runs of the Marionette, just like we did with Dragonstorm. I mean, we've got enough players by far now. Should be fun. See you guys soon.